Hi everyone, and welcome back to Ruth Reacts to Books. I'm your host, Ruxie Ruth McGouth. We're here today for Season 1, Episode 14, and we're reviewing the book Hot 6 by Janet Evanovich. Before I read the back of the book, I'll tell you a little bit about how I was introduced to this author and this series. So the author, Janet Evanovich, she writes kind of romance, mystery type books. And so my friend Tasha Barton introduced me to this author, and she actually gave me this book and several other books by this author. And so this is the 6th book in this series about Stephanie Plum, who is a bounty hunter. And I do believe that if in real life Stephanie Plum would have been dead long ago, because she gets herself into so many like highly dangerous situations, and then of course she ends up squeaking out at the last minute and surviving. So I will go ahead and read the back of the book, and then I'll tell you what I thought about it. Bounty hunter Stephanie Plum is faced with her most daunting task yet, bringing in the mysterious former Special Forces agent Carlos Manzano, aka Ranger. He's the man who taught her everything about fugitive apprehension, and Stephanie knows she will be testing her skills against the master. But if she does catch him, she's not so sure she could turn in her friend, even if he's wanted for murder. As if that isn't enough to keep her up at night, Grandma Mazur is crimping her sex life by moving in with her and keeping her from getting any action from her cop boyfriend, Joe Morelli. Now with her love life messing with her head, 2 threatening goons on her tail, and 3 corpses so far, it's getting a little too hot for Stephanie, whose search for Ranger is bringing her dangerously close to the wrong side of the law. So that's the back of the book. I gave the book 4 stars on Goodreads. I probably would have given it 3.5 if I'd had the opportunity to give half stars. Throughout the book, I kind of thought, I think I'll give it a 3. But then at the end, with the ending, it really got me. And I was like, nope, definitely giving it a 4. And I went back and looked at all the other books, the 5 previous to this one. And I also gave all of them 4s. So at the end of the day, I realized I definitely like this series. And the author is very creative in kind of the ways that she works through her stories and her plot lines. So I'm going to tell you 3 things I liked about the book, and then 1 thing that I didn't like about the book. So the 3 things I liked. Number 1, Grandma Mazur. As you heard on the back, her grandma moves in with her during this book, and her grandma is hilarious. She is just very like no BS, tells you exactly what she thinks, is kind of a horn dog herself, and is all throughout the book like just kind of enjoying like hanging out with her young granddaughter, who kind of has all these cool young friends. So it was a really funny part of the book and very enchanting. 2, the variety of bad guys. So there's some bad guys in this book that are like, oh my god, totally awful, and you absolutely hate them. And then there's some that are kind of like, you kind of like them, even though they're bad guys. And so I really liked that. I thought it was very creative. And the 3rd thing I liked was the complexity of the ending and the kind of twists that happened at the end of the book. Those were really creative. I really enjoyed them and thought they were really well done. What I didn't like about this book is that she talks about, so it mentions on the back of the book that she has a boyfriend, and the boyfriend is a guy that she actually grew up with when she was a kid. And in the book, she talks about how they used to like play sex games when they were little kids. And I just thought that was kind of gross. And I don't know why that really needed to be in the book. I did go ahead and look back at like when was this book published to try to understand if maybe it was during a different time. And it was published in 2000. So that was about 21 years ago. So possibly before we really were to a place where someone might have recognized that that's kind of gross and like we don't need to add that. But I understand if a character has to have that and the person who wrote it feels like they need to, then I guess it makes sense. But I didn't like that part personally, and I would have taken that out. So that's the book. If this book was a food, I decided it would be, I like to make these grilled cheese sandwiches with extras. So grilled cheese with extras. So some of my favorite extras are like green beans, vegetarian bacon, fun stuff like that. Just make it a little healthier and a little more substance, but also still sort of fun and frilly and, you know, American classic. So until next time, friends, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to. Bye!